Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone, my name is NAJWA LATANSA ARIF. I'm from Mathematics Class B. In this time, I want to explain you about science of philosophy. The title is Study of Ontology, Epistemology, and Axiology in Science. Okay, the first, Science of Philosophy. Philosophy of science is a branch of philosophy that studies the nature, methods, and goals of science. Philosophy of science seeks to understand the philosophical aspect underlying science, including questions about the nature and knowledge, the scientific method, the relationship between theory and observation, and the ethical and social implication of scientific discovery. The philosophy of science tries to answer questions such as what is knowledge? How do we gain knowledge? What differentiates science from other forms of knowledge? Is science objective? How does science develop? Are there limits to what science can have? How does science relate to beliefs, value, and worldview? Okay, philosophy of science also discuss epistemological issues such as truth, justification, and rationality in a scientific context. Apart from that, the philosophy of science also questions the relationship between science and reality, as well as the role of science in society and culture. In order to understand and criticize science, philosophy of science contributes to developing a deeper understanding of the nature and limitation of science. Okay, next topic, science philosophy and mathematics. Mathematics is a science whose truth is absolute and can be proven. Philosophy and mathematics are closely related to the same goals in science. The philosophy of mathematics has developed over time. Mathematics has been used since the 3rd and 5th centuries BC in ancient Egypt and Babylonia for calculation, determining calendar, trade, and determining line boundaries. However, in the end, mathematics developed into a science marked by the emergence of philosophers and mathematical figures such as Pythagoras, Plato, and Thales. Okay, next topic is ontology. Ontology is a branch of philosophy that considers fundamental questions about existence, reality, and the nature of things. In science, ontology refers to efforts to understand and define what really exists in a domain of knowledge. It involves questions about what constitutes a valid entity, concept, or category in a particular field of science. Ontology tries to answer questions such as what exists, how can something be classified, and how are different entities related. Example of ontology is ontology in physics, concerning the existence of elementary particles such as quarks, or whether space-time is an independent entity or just a mathematical concept. Ontology in biology involves questions about whether species are real entities and how the concept of evolution affects the understanding of biological reality. Ontology in mathematics. Everything in mathematics, such as theorems, can be proven logically, structured, and systematically. Ontology helps scientists and philosophers understand basic aspects of what exists and how these entities relate to each other in various scientific disciplines. Okay, next topic is epistemology. Epistemology is a branch of philosophy that addresses questions regarding knowledge, learning, and the methods used to acquire knowledge. This includes consideration of the source of knowledge, the limits of knowledge, and how knowledge can be acquired and justified. Epistemology tries to answer questions such as what is knowledge? How do we know what we know? And how we can justify our belief. Example of epistemology is scientific method. Experiments are designed and data are analyzed to ensure reliable results. Second, source of knowledge. Discuss source of knowledge, such as whether direct experience is the only valid source of knowledge, or whether knowledge can be obtained through rationalization, authority, or intuition. Third, justification theory. A form of justification statement made by someone based on research or reasons. Epistemology helps us understand the cognitive and intellectual process involved in acquiring, justifying, and understanding knowledge, as well as how we can identify valid knowledge in various disciplines. Okay, last topic is axiology. Axiology comes from the Greek words axios, which means benefit, and logos, which means science or teaching. Therefore, axiology is the study of what the highest values are, what they mean, such as truth, goodness, and beauty. Axiology tries to answer questions such as what is considered good or bad, what is considered right or wrong, and how should we act. Axiology focuses on value judgment and moral principles that guide human action. In terms of ethics, moral, and aesthetic, science is divided into two groups. Number one is value-free science. When we'll talk about science, we will also talk about ethics because the two are closely related. The issue of whether knowledge has value is a complex one. The answer to this question is simply whether or not. Value-free science, also known as value-neutral science or pure science, is an approach in science that aims to study natural phenomena objectively and without incorporating personal value or preference. This approach focuses on observing, measuring, and explaining natural phenomena based on objective scientific methods. In value-free science, researchers strive to separate their personal views, belief, and values from the research and analysis process. They strive to avoid bias and ensure that their research is based on empirical evidence that can be tested and verified. The main goal of value-free science is to produce objective and universal knowledge that can be accepted by everyone, regardless of difference in personal value or views. In value-free science, research in findings must be replaced and variable by other research, thereby ensuring the reliability and validity of the knowledge product. Number 2 is theory of value. The value of something, the value of action, the value of situation, and the value of conditions are some of the basics of discussing values. The theory of values is divided into two, namely, first, ethical values are a branch of philosophy which discuss how humans act from a good and bad perspective. Ethical values only apply to humans, while other creatures, such as animals and natural objects, don't have ethical values, so they can be decided as good or bad, wrong or right. Number 2, aesthetic values are related values and experience in the case of art. Aesthetic value involves subjective assessment of beauty, perfection, expression, emotion, context, and meaning in works of art. This is an important aspect in understanding and appreciating art and beauty in its various forms and expression. That is all for me. Thank you so much for listening. I want to apologize if there is a mistake. I hope you have a nice day. Thank you so much. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Bye-bye.